Hi there. Sorry for not finishing the presentation, the last workshop, but here is the last section, embedded learning. So let's first look at the figures. Not all companies reach this level. Around 6% of all the companies researched by Burson Deloitte reach this level. So what is it? Well, let me start by giving an example. I work with a bank and they often implement new systems and to help the advisors, for example, private advisors. And normally when they implement new services, new solutions, new systems, what do? They give courses, of course. So you pick out the private advisor out of production 2 days, and they take a course, and then later on they meet the customers. And what is the effect? You know the answer on that. They forget a lot, 70%, and the effect of the course isn't as we expected. So the new thing in this case is that when you design the system, you try to understand where will difficulties come, where in this journey, this customer or let's say advisor journey, do we need to support the advisor in this discussion with the customer. So it could look like this, that in some cases, you could see that you need some embedded support. So there are a lot of systems that creates a layer on top of any system and stepwise help you with videos, questions, or just instruction, do this, do that, and so on. Next step is also giving the advisor feedback. In this case, an advisor should sell much more solutions or much more services. And you can get some feedback afterwards, what was the value of the discussion, the order that you sold, how many solutions did you sell, and so on. So that gives the advisor a possibility to correct themselves if you get that data. We can also actually embed learning, maybe after a meeting with a customer, and you can see that the data is poor, that can trigger learning to happen within the system. And finally, of course, we can attach the community. So it's very easy to put questions for like the central departments to ask questions on specific services. This is one example. This is, I think it's Cornerstone actually, integrated with Salesforce. And in this example, a person is adding a new customer in EMEA, like Europe and Middle East. And it pops up a little dialogue telling the Paul here that there is another culture in these countries and you need to adjust your ways of selling. And this little video will help you. It will actually also increase your order value general. So it has used data then on order value and trigger this kind of course. As I showed you the last slide, this is a program called WalkMe. There is other ones, Enable Now, WhatFix, and so on, that acts as layers on top of any system. And they are triggered by what happens in the system stepwise, and they can give any kind of support. Actually, it could be just a plain stepwise instruction, it could be videos, it could be bringing up e-learning or chatting with the expert or other kind of things. It could of course be also with your Googles, your AR glasses. BMW, for example, have used that for a long time in service shops, helping repairmen to repair the motor and so on with these glasses. So that's embedding learning at work. And then, of course, providing data is another way that helps the feedback cycle to give the employee feedback to be able to correct themselves and learn as they go. This has been normal thing for sales persons a long time. If you use Salesforce, you get a lot of data on different parts of the sales cycle, meaning you can correct yourself and improve yourself. And it's also, if you're an Uber driver, you will get the general score, 4 or 5 or what it could be. That drives a lot of different things, like how you are routed when it comes new calls, if you will get the call or not. You can get cheaper petrol and other kind of bonuses if you have higher grades or higher scores, for example. But many of us doesn't have that kind of metric feedback. But in our cases, we can get much more feedback from systems. Like there are systems that where we can ask for feedback. There are systems that gives praise, for example, give a high five After something, we can have a presentation, or after a project, we can get high fives, or we can ask for feedback. So there are many ways to improve that feedback. And of course, we can build this into systems. And if you're working in an agile cycle, like a sprint, of course, half of it is, not half of it, but at the end of it, you get the retrospective where we analyze what happened, what went good, what went wrong, and we get feedback on that, and we improve into the next step. And we can also organize for learning, well, cross-functional. So we work with documentation from the beginning, and we work with customer service from the beginning, and we create solutions that are generic, the DevOps concept, where we have development and operations working together to really find holistic solutions. And that also means that we learn from other parts as we go through the process of developing something. So organizing work for learning is something else. And if you take these last steps together, it means that we have much more to do than just developing courses or administering courses or delivering courses. I mean, that is shrinking. I saw some statistics from Bers in Deloitte, or was it ATD? I think it's down to 40% of what you do on L&D is now course-centric, what you do around courses. So we do other things. What is that? It could be working and influencing the culture, helping employees to develop learning skills, as we showed here, designing work and implement different kind of support and embedded learning, dry collaboration and digitalization, and much other roles. So in the future, we will have, and we also already have, new roles in L&D, learning and development. One for sure, as you have been seeing, is the technical architect. We now have a lot of technology, and we need them to integrate with each other to create good learning journeys for the employees. So we need technical architecture. Another thing, as I showed, let's see where to go, is the curator. Instead of developing everything, we now pick different resources from online course libraries. It could be videos, it could be sites, and other kind of support that we curate together what is relevant, and in much shorter time provides the learner with learning material. It could be also someone working with communication, change, and culture, like a change agent. Another one is, of course, as I showed you, the experienced designer. How do you develop a learning journey in a good way using multiple platforms? How do you embed learning in work? How do you make that as a work experience in a good way? So we need someone that uses design thinking and other methods to make good employee experiences. And finally, of course, we have moved from the teacher to the instructional designer, to the learning consultant, to the performance consultant. And now we understand it's much more than performance. It's also continuous improvement and innovation. And we need to support that. So we are actually becoming business consultants. So that's very much what we missed. And on the summary session, you will be able to discuss this further on. But until then, bye-bye.